I knew that. I wanted to be the best that I could be.
You're good to go, Lois.
I can go?
Yes.
All right. Welcome everyone to the May meeting of the Salem Public Library Advisory Board. So we are going to get right to business. Were there any other additions or corrections to the minutes besides what somebody might have put in? Okay, I need a motion to approve them.
I move that we approve them.
Second.
Thanks, Steve and Gretchen. Okay, all in favor, make a motion of up or down or whatever. Catherine, are you in? Okay. All right, looks unanimous to me. So now, without objection, I would like to change the agenda format, and we will do discussion items now and then information items later. So our first discussion item is external lab meetings. Michelle. Michelle?
Yes. So you were okay. So you were looking for comment from me on the public meetings laws?
Yeah, we changed the agenda. No one objected. So we're doing discussion items first.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I appreciate Catherine's email and sort of laying out some background on that. When I read Catherine's email, the feedback I wanted to give the board is that when we were talking previously about who could meet and what their sort of what they could do and what they could talk about and what their abilities were, sort of their rights and abilities were, it was unique to the fact that they were part of a subcommittee and they had specific assignments from the Library Advisory Board with respect to discuss, come back with recommendations, etc. A meeting between, so shifting gears, a meeting between less than a majority of the Library Advisory Board members would be permissible. And specifically because those members don't have any unique assignments with respect to reporting back with recommendations. And I do think that would be okay. My recommendation would be keep in mind how many people are on the board at the moment, as opposed to total available board membership. So for instance, if we get to the point where we only have 5 board members, 3 people would be a majority. When we are closer to our capacity, 3 people would be no problem. So just to keep that in mind, and I will ask folks to continue to keep in mind this notion of an email exchange, because when there's an email exchange of ideas and thoughts and sort of tentative decisions, if you will, on what the board might want to do, that can look like a collective action of the board. So hopefully it's easy enough to just keep, other board members as a blind carbon copy and let Clarissa be your distribution point. But I do think it's okay for, several board members, something less than a majority, to get together, particularly where they don't have any unique ability to, or unique assignment, we'll just call it an assignment, to make recommendations to the board. They might still, but it's very different than a subcommittee, I think.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Francine.
I have a question, and that is that in the past we were told a quorum for our meeting was 5 people, even if there were like ostensibly 6 people on the lab. Does what you're saying change that? Or my understanding of it, is that accurate?
So thank you for the question. I am usually the most cautious person in the room. If our total available, I think our total of available membership might be 8 or 9 people.
9.
Thank you. Yeah. So if all of those seats aren't filled, if for some unfortunate reason we only have 6, let's just say 5 positions filled, 3 would be a majority of the people who are on the board. And my goal is to help protect you as board members and the city against or with respect to issues or concerns that come up about the board's actions. So I would very much caution around how many people are on the board at the present moment. So even if 9 is our total, if only 5 are filled, it really shouldn't be 3 or more meeting. It should be 2.
I was referring to when we vote as a lab.
Okay. So if we have 9 positions total, but only 5 are filled. So if we have 4 vacant positions, at that point, 3 would be a majority.
Okay.
So my hope is that we would not find ourselves in that position. I feel like you are all very enthusiastic and you have outstanding community outreach. So hopefully we could keep the positions filled so that we wouldn't be in that position of having just a very few, what I would consider a few board members of the total of, the available total. But let's just be careful, but we can still do it, and we can find ways to do what we want to do. And I very much respect and appreciate the board's desire to get together and meet and talk and share ideas.
Okay. Let's move.
Is that helpful enough? I don't know if Catherine has other questions or if other folks do. I'm sorry, Lois, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
that's very helpful, and I really appreciate that. I guess I have just one question, and that's that you had said if there were no assignments, what if the chair wants to assign a small group of people, but specifically tells them make no recommendations?
That seems fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
That seems fine to me.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate your looking into this.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure. And I think that's good. And I understand. Anyway, it's just to say, like, we have all different perspectives. And I think it's good to talk about different ways to get the work of the Library Advisory Board done. So I appreciate the question, and it's a good conversation. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much, Michelle. That does clear it up. So that's great.
Yay.
So let's go on to the seed project. Does Tab want to talk about that, Kim, or can you talk about it and the other programming?
Yeah, Tab will talk about their proposal for what they're working on for the seed project.
Okay. Take it away, Tab.
I am that Tab member, actually, so I will pull up my notes here. So our project essentially is to create a library for heritage seeds, or what are traditionally called heirloom seeds. And so our goal is to have a file box folder where we can put seeds in, and we can receive donations from people who either take our seeds, grow them, and produce the seeds themselves and bring some back, or we get some from other various places in the community. So our basic concept, like I said, is a tabletop display of a file box folder type of thing, where people can come to take seeds. The display will also include handouts that people can take to understand how to harvest these seeds, how to grow these plants, especially growing these plants in Oregon. We've got more rain than normal. How to get started with gardening in general, and other resources related to master gardeners. Master Gardeners in Marion County has a help desk. So that might be a resource for people if they have additional questions. Our area will also include a secure spot for people to leave seeds, like I said. We will work with librarians to set up a nearby display of gardening books as well. And tab members will visit periodically to organize and tidy the seed library. So our stipulations are, we are only accepting vegetable, fruit, and herb seasons at the moment for our pilot program. We will not be accepting marijuana seeds or seeds that are, I guess, along the topic of drugs or things like that. We won't be accepting those seeds. People would be encouraged to harvest these seeds and bring them back, but we understand that people might not be able to do that. Our main goal is to really just educate people about these type of seeds. We were going to make sure to label and date all seeds and not include any invasive species to Oregon. Our materials that we're going to need is a container for the display, possibly a file box and hanging file folders, or like a set of small drawers. Our original idea was a card catalog, but that might be a little bit too big. Small paper envelopes in which to organize the seeds that are not already in envelopes, a starter set of heirloom seeds, posters and signs explaining the seed library idea. And our budget for those materials is approximately $200. And other places we might be able to collect things, resources, and information, putting out a call to the public for unused seeds. Marion Polk Food Share might have a surplus of seeds, especially their youth farm, and Marion County Master Gardeners and Extension Services.
Okay, thank you, Riley. Questions, Catherine?
Yes, I just wondered, it sounds wonderful, just wonderful. I'm just wondering if you've been in touch with any other libraries that have seed catalog programs. I know, for example, Eugene does.
I think, Sonia, you might be able to answer that.
We have viewed a webinar that was put on by a coalition of libraries, actually kind of from across the country. And then we haven't, chatted with anybody, but we've looked at videos. There are lots of ways in which librarians share this stuff. So we've read through instructions that were available online from existing seed libraries, and a couple of them have done instructional videos. So we got lots of good ideas for what works and what the pitfalls are from those.
One more thought, and that's that I just picked up some starts from Minto Brown Island, and they have a lot of heirloom varieties of vegetables, and they're a real community-oriented little local farm that might be willing to provide some heirloom seeds.
That is a great resource to add to our list, Catherine.
Anyone else? Okay.
I think this is fabulous. I really do.
It's a wonderful idea, and I really applaud the teams for picking up on this and going with it. And I think this will be a great thing for our community. Unless there's any other questions, Riley, we will, if we are going to make a donation, we will do that a little bit later. So you can stick around or do whatever you want to do. You don't have to. And we will get back to the tab report. Gretchen, what time do you have to leave?
About 20 after.
Okay. All right. So, Kim, was there any other programming you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so we would like to get some funds to do some additional adult programming. If we could get those funds, like in addition to, programming like the seed library. We're looking probably what we'd like is about $1,000 to altogether to do those types of programs, for which would include some adult programming as well as the TAB seed library project.
Okay.
So we have different types of programming that we're doing during the summer, and that would probably be good if we could get some additional funding for at least next fiscal year, which starts in July. But we could also start the seed library program whenever the teams are ready to do that.
Yeah, great for when people are starting to plant their garden things. Okay, great. Catherine, did you want to give a little bit of a budget update? That's
sure.
The next item.
Yeah, so as far as the bond measure goes, I think Lois and I mentioned last time that the bond infrastructure committee had tentatively said they were going to put $7.5 million towards purchasing a site for 2 sites for a library on the main floor and low-income housing above it. They've finalized that recommendation and sent it to the city council, and the city council has it now, and they're going to have a work session that addresses it on Monday and could possibly adopt it 2 weeks after that. So it's looking real good, real good. So cross your fingers. And we're really encouraged by that. Then on the issue of, so that's the capital funding. On operational funding, I provided some testimony to the fiscal budget committee for the next fiscal year a couple of weeks ago, and asked for, as you have a letter, well, that I didn't send it to them, but I used it to orally present my thoughts on that, but asked for them to go back to the original staffing for that library, which was 35 hours a week, 6 days a week. And got a couple of good questions. Also, Jim Shepke, the following week, provided additional testimony on the same issue, and it didn't specify a number of additional hours, but just said, please, add more hours to that library. So, and he said he got a number of questions. So it's on their radar. We'll have to see what happens. We made our input. So that's, the only other thing is, one of the questions that was raised to me was somebody asked what the situation is with respect to Roth's, which rents the property at West Salem, the West Salem branch, very cheaply every year. I don't remember what it is, but it's very cheap. And of course, the ownership changed hands recently. And so the question was raised whether the new owner might up the amount of rent on the facility. But in conversation with Kim, it seems as though, at least so far, things are staying the same. There's no indication so far that they're going to increase the rent. So
I have heard nothing about increasing the rent or any sort of change.
Great.
So far, so good. So that's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Catherine. I really appreciate you going in front of the budget committee and your research. And we haven't done that for a while, and I think that is one of the things that Lab could do is advocate more for more funding for the library, because other departments do it, and why not? So I appreciate that very, very much. We also provided testimony to the bond committee, and we may see something positive from that. So it's kind of cool. It's like, get involved and maybe you get something done. So so that's all of our discussion items. Let's move to action items. Unless there were any other questions. Okay. So the teens have asked us for some money, and it sounds like the library could use some additional funding for adult programming and the seed library and anything else they need funding for. So do I hear any kind of motion? Okay, Catherine.
I have a question.
Okay.
So Kim, would you like a motion to specify that the money be available for the next fiscal year period, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody want to donate some money? I don't think the chair is technically supposed to make a motion, so that's why I'm not doing it. Gretchen.
I move that we give the library money.
All right. And what is the amount that sounds good to people? Besides, I mean, we'd all like to give them like $1 million, but we don't have that much. So
Kim said 1,000 they needed.
I think 1,000 sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. So your motion is that the Library Advisory Board would donate $1,000 from their funds for library programming.
Exactly. Correct? Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
A friendly amendment, add the seed library to that as well?
Oh, or do you want to do it separately?
No.
No, I was just thinking seed library was part of programming, but.
Okay, well then add the 200 that the teen.
So $1,200.
Yes.
All right, sounds good to me. I mean, anybody else have any ideas? Okay, is there a second?
A second.
We had 2 seconds, but let's take Francine just to do that. All in favor of giving $1,200 to the seed library and programming at the library?
Yes.
Indicate yay.
Yay.
All right, it is done. Woo! Okay, yay. Thank you everyone so much. And I really think that seed library is going to be great, and additional programming is always wonderful. So now I can breathe easier because we got that done. Teen Advisory Board, we skipped you. Not that we ever want to skip our teens. Go ahead, it's Katie. Yay.
Hi, yeah, I'm Katie. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm sorry. I am an 11th grader, and my school is Summit Learning Charter, and TAD has returned to in-person meetings starting in April, and we are really great, it was really great being together for our first meeting, and we set aside some time for a photo shoot in the new teen scene. Our former TAD member, Bella Rainey, came back to take the pictures. Now we have a good supply of really great pictures of the teen scene to use. TAD members also had the chance to share their perspectives regarding the strategic plan, as several members met with consultants from Corrigo for a teens-only focus group, and then the Take What You Need project, offering a small personal items for the floor 1 bathrooms, continues to go very well. As an example, we handed out 400 hand warmers and about 350 pairs of mittens during the winter. Other popular items have included lip balm, Tic Tac, deodorant, hairbrushes, and anti-fogging wipes. And we recently expanded the project to include Take What You Need Family Edition in one of our family restrooms in the children's corner. We put out a community call for donations of diapers, pull-ups, wipes, nursing pads, onesies, kids' socks, and other items helpful to people who visit the library with small humans. In just 1 week, we got a huge pile of donations and were able to set up the new display. That's it.
Great. Thank you, Katie. Are there any questions? I'm sorry, but I really couldn't hear very much of it. But
no.
I'm sure you're doing great things. And thank you so much for being here. Were there any questions? Francine, go ahead.
This is a question for Kim. Will the summer intern that is coming from the high school population have as any part of their duties working with the TAB to continue these ongoing projects?
So that's probably a better question for Sonia. She's the one hiring the intern. They usually work on a project, so it'll be project-based. So she has done this before on a national level and gotten a grant to work with a teen on a project level. And so I imagine that And I don't know if Sonia, did you want to add to it?
Sure. Actually, sorry, I'm like fully here. Yeah, we'll actually, the high school student will be working with all aspects of teen services. So helping with our programs and special activities during the summer, supporting a variety of things, and definitely we'll get an opportunity to interact with the Teen Advisory Board, also helping with some children's programs. What we really wanted them to do is have a very rich, full experience in how all aspects of the library operates. And the grant specifies that person will also come up with what is called a connected learning project, but some sort of project to benefit the library that sort of stems from their passions and interests, which is essentially, it's an echo of what we do with the Teen Advisory Board. The interest in the Seed Library came from one of the TAB members really wanting to talk about how to support environmental issues as part of TAB. And so that's where that conversation went. So it will remain to be seen, because it will depend on the individual passions of that person that we hire. I'm very much looking forward to working with them.
Great. Steve?
Is Katie still there? Katie, you're still there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say I really appreciate what you're doing. It's really cool to see all that's happening. So thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate being on TAB.
Great.
Thanks so much, Katie. I had another question for Sonia. So is this intern we're hiring, is this usually a local person, or could be somebody from anywhere?
Well, I mean, there's not really a limitation. It's a job that's listed through the city of Salem, but they do have to be in Salem this summer in order to work day to day in the library. It'll be a half-time position for 10 weeks for someone who is they have to be at least 16 on the day that they start working on June 21st. And they still have to be in high school. So like a rising junior, rising senior, or a recent graduate would all be eligible. But if they've gone on to college, that's not it. This one's for high school students.
Got it. Okay, Katie, another question for you. I have a friend who is in middle school, but technically she's not a teen yet. But I was telling her about the teen center, kind of place, and how it's, very accepting of people. Can she go in there, or is it only for teens?
The funny thing is this actually worked with me, because when I started middle school, I was 12, I think. So I was younger than a teenager too, and I was able to be part of the teen events and everything.
We actually consider you part of Teen Scene from the moment of 5th grade completion until the summer after you finish high school.
Oh, that's great to hear. Because I thought that would be a nice place for her to try to fit in, my friend. Okay, cool. Yep. Great. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Riley. Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you.
We're going to move on. Chair's report. I just wanted to say again how much I appreciate Catherine and all the work she's doing on the budget and on the bond committee. And yay. And yeah, thanks so much, Catherine. And she's been a great vice chair. Not co-chair, but vice chair. Okay. City Librarians report. Take it away, Kim.
Well, has everybody had a chance to read through the City Librarians report? Do you have any questions, or were there anything that stood out about it that I can illuminate?
Thanks for the statistics. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
and
that's something. Yeah.
You've been busy hiring people like crazy.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, we have. We have. And we just got, right now we're working on hiring on-call folks to be library clerks, which is an on-call position that mostly works the customer service desk. So we can get people who are on desk, like off to do programming and that kind of thing. So we're hoping to, do more stuff. We're starting story times in mid-May in the Laux Auditorium. So they'll be in person. And then our first in-person program, our Ballet Folklorica, was full. We had 200 people and had to actually turn people away. So we're really excited about moving forward and doing the in-person program. We've opened up the plaza level, and the meeting rooms are in use, and the Friends of the Library book sale is this weekend. So all of that stuff is really exciting, and it's really great to be a part of.
Yeah, I am just super jazzed when I go to the library now, because it's starting to feel like the old library. There's like people coming and going, and there's people, sitting in the study rooms. And I saw that the bookmobile made an appearance, and is that the new van, or
no.
what is, no, oh, it's the old one. Okay.
Yeah. So we're still working on getting that new van. Sonia found out today we have a little bit more time to get it put together. It's they're customizing it, so it's taking longer, but we have until December 31st, I believe, to get it all put together, which we'll probably need that time, because just with the way, how it is hard to get supplies right now, the supply chain, it's just taking longer than we expected, but it's coming.
Great. Steve, go ahead.
I just wondered when, how do you get the word out about Sarah's upcoming talk?
Oh, we're gonna put, Hannah put together the information about it. She's working on it, and so it should come out like in an email blast. That's usually the best way to put the talk out, is out there. And then usually a lot of those things are included in the city website as well. So it should be coming out pretty soon. I don't know, Sonia might know the exact date. I'm not sure the exact date when the program's taking place, May 24th, I believe. So Hannah is the one working with Sarah on the program. So
we usually aim to be out there about
what's happening. I think the group doesn't know, the other lab members don't know about what Sarah's going to be doing.
Oh, okay. Sarah's going to be doing a talk that she also did at Willamette University about Ukraine, kind of the history of Ukraine and Russia is like my understanding. And so it's going to be, gosh, I think it's 6 to 7 on, and I might be a little off on the time, May 24th, but you all should be like hooked up with our email blast. But yeah, so she's coming and doing the talk at the library. So we're really excited about that. It's a very, it's a very reflective of the times we're in. And I think it'll be very interesting to people too in the community. So yeah, we expect that to be a real draw for people.
Yeah, I attended the one at the Willamette ICL, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, Sarah is a professor of Russian literature. Sarah Bishop, we're talking about our very own lab member. Yay. She knows, she wants to do a program on Ukraine. So that's cool. Steve?
I'm sorry, I didn't read your report. You may have covered this. The Discovery Room, is that reopening? Or
we are working on getting the Discovery Room opened. We just, we're putting it together. I think we hope to have it open by June. So that's kind of our goal. We'll see if we get there. But okay. Yeah. So
I need it open by August when my grandson turns 2.
So. I'll make sure it's open by August. No, I think it will be open by August for sure. Right. It'll be a really fun space. We're so excited about being able to open that space.
Good. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay. Kim, what about doing lab meetings in person?
So, no. So right now it doesn't look like we'll be able to do lab meetings in person unless the city leans a different way. But they are considering allowing public comment virtually, which is not something we've been doing. So that would be something we could start doing. But as far as there's a lot of people prefer to meet virtual, it seems. And so that's kind of one big hurdle to get over when most of your boards prefer to meet virtually. And they're trying to create a policy for all boards. So at this point, I think they're leaning to just to stay virtual at this point. And then, but again, they're leaning towards allowing virtual testimony or comment, but you just want to make sure that you had some timelines in place for that, because if you have an hour-and-a-half meeting, you don't want somebody unexpectedly taking up too much of your time. I mean, too much of the time so that you can't get your business done, right?
I appreciate the convenience of Zoom, but I don't think it fosters camaraderie or even discussion. So I don't know, is that something we can vote on, or does the city tell us?
At this point, we need to follow what the city does, but it's an ongoing conversation. So I don't think that I don't think you're alone in that opinion. So I'm sure it's going to continue as an ongoing conversation, but this is kind of where we're at right now.
Do other people, Steve?
Well, it seems like it ought to be depend upon the group. I can see where some would prefer virtual, but some would not. And it just doesn't seem like having a blanket policy is the way it should be. I agree with Lois. I think you get a lot more communication, engagement with each other in person.
Well, I'll definitely pass that along. That I have been communicating that out to when I've been asked about it, like what the preference is for my board. And I feel like most overall would prefer in person or a hybrid model.
Catherine?
I strongly prefer in person. In fact, I know a couple people on this lab have indicated that it's a reason why they've considered dropping out. And yeah, that's my preference, in person.
Anyone else have thoughts? Oh, whoops. Am I on or off? I don't know.
You're on.
I'm on. Anybody else have thoughts? Gretchen, it looked like you would like to continue with Zoom.
I love the convenience of Zoom. And I've gotten really used to it, and all the other things that I'm involved in, I'm doing, so I'm really used to it, and I'm lazy. It's, get dressed, go, that kind of thing. Yeah. But yes, and I agree with you with regard to the camaraderie. Yeah. I like seeing you in person.
True.
Yeah.
Kim?
I think Michelle has something she'd like to share.
Okay. Sorry, Michelle. Go ahead.
No, it's totally fine. I just wanted to comment that there may be value in, excuse me, there probably is some legal value in having a blanket policy across all boards and commissions so that some people in protected classes do not feel that they are treated differently. So even though we would not, there might be a preference on this board for a certain practice, across the city, we probably are trying to manage equity and inclusion and fairness. So just food for thought.
Francine, do you have thoughts one way or another that you want to express? You don't have to.
I don't. I mean, I just share what what our city attorney has shared with me. My comments about sort of a consistent application are just mine. But I think Kim is right, which is she can continue to share to report out up to her department head, the head of community development, and he can share with leadership the feedback and the desire.
Francine, did you have thoughts one way or another that you don't have to share? Or,
fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other things to talk about? Okay. Yes, I'm looking forward to Discovery Room 2 because I will probably volunteer there again. So I can see Steve's son. Grandson, let's put it like that.
So you volunteered in the Discovery Room?
Yes, I did before it moved and the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just once a week.
How wonderful.
It's very fun. So Carol is not here, so there's no friends report, but remember there is the book sale this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the following Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Go buy your books. Great deal, great books. And the money goes to the library. So all good. Oh my gosh, we're almost done. Gretchen, do you have anything from
no, nothing to add.
Foundation? Okay.
Nope.
All righty. This is fabulous. Anything else for the good of the order? No. Okay. Boom.
Woo! Thank you.
All right. The meeting is adjourned.